Day of Christmas, what you love gave to me, a Philly steak with extra cheese. Oh, hi boys and girls. I'm Antonio, a CTN intern, and Santa has recruited me to be his big little helper to go downtown and ask some of the locals to share some of their holiday memories. So without further ado, away we go.
Favorite holiday memory. So there's so many, and I feel really lucky. But one that comes to mind is that my daughter, or our daughter, was born 27 years ago, 2 weeks before Christmas. And when we brought her home from the hospital, and we were home the first few days, with some people coming in and out to help, my grandma came and stayed with us through Christmas time. And she was Jenna's great grandma, or Gigi. And she was just one of the most amazing influences in my life and in my daughter's and my husband's when she was with us. She passed away. It's been many years now. But she got to be there with us on Jenna's very first Christmas. And she helped take care of her and get us all ready. She did a lot of the work in Jenna's nursery, and it was just beautiful. So I'm really grateful for that Christmas when my grandma and Jenna's great grandma got to be with us 27 years ago.
Christmas memory is kind of something that happened every year. Growing up when I was little, my younger brother, would come up at like the crack of dawn and wake me up. But we weren't allowed to wake up my parents until 8 o'clock. So we would have several hours where we would just sit together and watch movies until, the clock would count down till 8 o'clock, and then we'd go wake them up so we could start Christmas morning.
Well, one of my favorite holiday or Christmas memories is in 2009, which was the last Christmas that we had with Dad, and we had just at night we had gone out and we were out in the kitchen playing cards, and he was joking around, and so that's probably one of my favorite memories.
my favorite holiday memory is when my dad and I were flying from Michigan down to Texas. And we were flying from Michigan where there's snow, there's ice, there's holidays, down to Texas where it's hot, it's dry, and it doesn't remind you very much of Christmas. But my family was there, my grandparents were there, and I wanted to be with my family, and so did my dad. And so we were flying out of Kalamazoo, but for reasons I don't quite understand, and I don't think anyone really understood at the time, and still we don't understand, we drove to Indiana. And then, obviously, while in Indiana, we nearly missed our flight. So we probably drove 100 miles an hour up from Indiana to Kalamazoo to get to this little tiny airport, to run through the airport. And I didn't run very fast when I was 10. And so my dad carried me on his shoulder, carried our one carry-on bag. He left all the other clothes in the car. And we rushed and rushed, got on the plane, and it was just like out of a movie. The stewardess was closing the door just as we were getting on, and my dad held out his hand to hold the stewardess from closing the door to the terminal, and we got on the plane, and we made it down to Houston, Texas. In Houston, my grandparents were there, I was there, my uncle was there, my aunts were there. We had a great time. And not only that, I got to be with my family, and I got to have the most wonderful Christmas I've ever had in Texas, in a desert where it's hot and not Christmassy at all. And that's my favorite holiday memory.
My favorite holiday memory is every year when I was a kid, no matter what was going on with my family, we made it a point to go for a walk in the woods, and we'd go for a couple of miles every year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. All 5 of us, my 2 brothers and my parents and I. We'd go for a walk out in the woods. We'd get away from everybody else. We'd get away from all of the TV and all the commercialism and everything else about the holidays. And we'd go out where it's quiet, where there's nature, and where it's just your family and the outdoors. And even if things were hard, even if people were upset, even if the holidays were stressful, because the holidays are always stressful in some way, we'd go for a walk in the woods and we'd remember what it was like just to be a family, just to be together, and what was really important about the holiday season.
So excited about when Santa Claus comes. In fact, I was so excited when I was a little kid. One time, I couldn't wait till Christmas morning. I got so excited, I threw up.